States.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
TV on the radio.
With Hamish, Coleman-Ross.
From stuff.co.nz.
Yes, Hamish, CR on Twitter as well. Hello to you, Hamish.
Good morning, Wammo. How are you?
I'm well. It's been a week of finals.
Oh, mate, it's been huge. Absolutely, like, from the start of the week to just last night. It's been huge and internationally huge. It's not often that you can say you've got two major finals in 1 week, both internationals, and both major shows that probably we won't see again in the same way anyway.
Well, exactly. Now, one of them is Lost.
Yes.
Okay, so the final is screened in the States. It hasn't screened here yet?
No, it's at 9:30 on TV2 tomorrow night.
But everyone's seen it.
But everyone's seen it, yes. They did this brilliant thing for the UK and Europe and the States, and even, I think Australia might have been on this as well. They broadcast it simultaneously with the States, no matter what time it was. I think it was about 5 or 7 o'clock in the morning in the UK.
Yeah.
When they played it. But they just did it.
But not here.
But not here.
No.
Well, that would just be like too awesome, practical, and it's disappointing that they didn't. I guess it would have been in the afternoon at some point.
Yeah, it would have been. It wouldn't have been a bad time. I'm sure people would have pulled sickies.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure people have pulled that. I would have.
But actually, I know people, not giving anything away, because some of these people work in places, that actually took sickies because they were downloading it on that day and wanted to watch it as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I had to stay at work because we had the All Whites versus Socceroos on Monday night, and that was fantastic. But you better believe, as soon as I'd done that, I was going straight home and watching it.
I'd really be keen to find out what the audience figures are going to be for the Lost final. And
here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
On a Saturday night on TV2.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not great.
No.
So anyway, let's detract away from the fact that, once again, our programmers have kind of dropped the ball with a huge show and haven't really allowed the international wave of what's arguably one of the biggest sort of mystery shows to come out in the last decade. This has been the X-Files of the new millennium, really.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of not really been given the same kind of attention, I guess, in New Zealand as it has around the rest of the world. And part of the great thing of Lost was that it had that community aspect to it. Like there were people all over the world talking on the internet. Lostpedia was a pretty huge site. And I think TVNZ wanted to try and confine the debate or the conjecture to their own site. And the fact of the matter is that it's just not that good. The site, I mean, not necessarily the show.
And of course, for anyone who hasn't seen the final, and I haven't seen the final, in fact, I haven't seen the last three series of Lost. But
well, that's your loss, isn't it?
It is my loss, apparently. For anyone, though, who does work on the internet or even is browsing various websites or news sites, it would be very hard to avoid spoilers.
Well, we had it on stuff.co.nz, but we did put up major things here saying spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. And even then, I think whoever wrote the article got a bit of flack in some of the comments. The interpretation of the what had occurred in the final was short-sighted. Now, I guess Lost has always been one of those shows that will raise the most sort of vehement attitudes from its fans. But I've got to be honest, it did two things for me in the final: the actual show itself.
So is this a spoiler alert? Spoiler alert?
No, spoiler alert. I've practiced this. If you really like the characters of Lost, and I do, it's great. It's a very fitting final. If you are really into the larger story at play, the big mystery, you're going to be disappointed.
Okay.
You are not going to get all the answers that you wanted.
We don't find out what the smoke is?
You'll find out what the smoke is. That's pretty well covered.
Okay.
But one of the big things for me that you will not find out, that pisses me oh, man, seriously. I'm angry.
Spoiler alert. Hang on. Spoiler alert.
Walt. Remember Walt, the little kid?
Yeah.
Yep, Walt, and they said, oh, he gave us a bit more than we bargained on, and Walt was on another computer somewhere, and he managed to jump from one side of the island to the other, and he turned out and he was all covered in water, and he was talking backwards, and so we never find out what that was about.
Oh.
They set that up huge, who is this amazing kid Walt? That's it, never find out.
That's because the writers didn't know what he was on about either.
But they told us that they did.
Yeah, but I heard sort of halfway through the series that the writers had no idea where the show was going. They didn't even know.
Well, that would... I will say this much. I thought that the first two seasons floundered in so much as, yes, that they were setting a whole bunch of stuff up, but they didn't seem to know exactly where they were going. But from the middle of the third season, when they did actually announce that they knew exactly how many seasons there were going to be, that they were going to finish it up at the end of 6, then I found that the whole show actually did pick up and have pace and direction.
Okay. All right. And
anyway, but Lost is finished.
Yep.
It's over. It's done.
The other big final, another show that I despise, American Idol.
Yes.
Now,
this was broadcast yesterday in the States. And this one we did get timely. This was broadcast last night on TV2.
But yet again, if you're plugged into the internet at all, very hard to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and this is what you have to contend with. So I watched the final last night with some other friends who are more idol-centric than me, but sometimes it's good to go and watch these things with people who actually like the show. I haven't watched it this season at all, but I got to say that it was a pretty impressive lineup at the end of this American Idol final. They had, just off the top of my head, and I'll probably leave somebody out here, they had Alice Cooper there, Christina Aguilera, Hale and Oates, Joe Cocker, oh golly, who else did they have? Janet Jackson. These guys were all coming out and performing with other idols.
Are we glad to see the back of that judge guy who's
Simon Cowell?
Him, yeah. Are we glad to see the back of him?
Like him or hate him, Simon Cowell has done something quite amazing with that show. When they had these retrospectives during the show, and they were, because this is the 8th season, I think, or 9th season? 8th season, yeah. This is the 8th season in America. And they cut back to what it was like in the first season, and you can actually see how far the show has come. It's an absolute behemoth of a production now. But back originally, they kind of were all sitting at a table with a cloth that had American Idol printed on it.
Yeah.
Now they have these amazing, huge built sort of contraptions that look like they're small planes. That they sit behind. So,
but in saying that, the production and design hasn't really drastically changed that much with the music, the Idol music that basically is in every single franchise around the world.
Oh, I mean, I guess so, but it does look, from a retrospective, it looks as though this thing is a lot bigger now than it was when it started. And there was some interesting moments, like they had every winner of Idol for ever in America came out and sang to Simon. Definitely my favourite part though was this guy, and I don't know exactly who he was. I think he's sort of a comedian in America, but he came out and he had written a song of all of Simon's insults strung together.
Brilliant.
And that was kind of cool, but at the same time, I kind of felt as though it was the Goodbye Simon show rather than, and at the end they brought out these two kids and they're like, one of these kids is going to be Idol this year. Okay, right. All right. Anyway, bye Simon.
Yeah, but that's an acknowledgement that the true entertainment is the judges and what they say to the contestants and the drama and emotion that all causes.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. The music of Idol is not deep stuff. It is. It's pop music. It's blatant manufactured pop music. But therefore, the drama comes from someone like Simon doing what he does.
Yep. So that's the end of that series.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're sort of saying it's going to go on, but I just don't see how it can. I really don't. he is so key to that show working. Replace him with?
So what?
Who would you replace him with?
Who would I replace him with?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
You got to replace him with another rat bag, don't you?
Think that anyone could live up to the expectation. I really don't. But the interesting thing is that we won't see Simon on American TV for about another year. He's coming back with the USA version of the UK hit X Factor.
Oh, okay.
Which is again another talent show, but it's slightly different in so much as the judges mentor the acts. So they kind of divvy up the top 12 or whatever, or the top 10, and each judge takes on that act to sort of mentor and help get through.
Excellent. Hamish Coleman-Ross.
Thanks.